Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Michelle and I am usually crocheting and doing things like that. But today, if you've read the title, we're going to talk all about the Sophie scarf. I felt that I just wanted to start knitting, and it's not that I'm completely a beginner when it comes to knitting, but I have not as much skills in it as I have, or experience as I have as a crocheter. I learned to knit when I was about very young, like I don't even know how old, maybe 8, 9, 10, somewhere there in school, I think mostly. But because no one really knitted at home, not my mom, not my grandmother, they were maybe mostly crocheting, if anything, but not really much of that either. So I don't know if I had any issues or troubles, there was not really anyone that I could ask for help. So I just ended up putting the knitting needles to the side. Plus, with crocheting, it goes a little faster and you just, need to think about one needle. But yeah, I've been back and forth with knitting over the years. I've been like trying it, put it to the side, trying it, put it to the side. So I actually got inspired now recently. So I've been looking at this Sophie scarf for a long time, but I got really inspired when I saw another creator called Michelle as well. But she's living in Canada, if I understand correctly, not where I am. So not that I know, I don't know what that has to do with anything. Anyway, her name is also Michelle. I'll link her channel below in the description. But she recently made a Sophie scarf, and she has a little bit more experience, if I understand it, when it comes to knitting, even though she also is mainly a crocheter. And that's why I usually follow her. But she also has knitted before the Sophie hood, maybe it's called, like when it's the hood and a scarf. And she's also, I'm sorry if you can hear, by the way, the washing machine in the background. Girl needs to multitask. But back to the knitting, she also has knitted, sweaters and everything. So really, really cool to see her do all of those things. But it was her making the Sophie scarf that inspired me to make the Sophie scarf finally. Now, last year, I actually made a pair of socks, like for a 3 or 4-year-old. And there were some mistakes in those socks. I might have a little video showing you them a little bit quick here. And it still made me it didn't put me off completely, because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. So if there's too many mistakes, I tend to let it go and leave it alone, or I push through and challenge myself. But with knitting, I just always put it to the side. Now I took a pause, you can say, because now it's 2026, yeah. And I just said to myself, let's try and do something small but nice that I would probably wear. So this Sophie scarf felt like, a good starting point. So here it is. I did not go too much about details in the pattern. I didn't think about what is the perfect needle hook or needle knitting needles, not hooks. What is the perfect size of that, or recommended one? I didn't look what kind of yarn she used. I still get confused about DK yarn, worsted yarn, and all of those things, because I sort of know some the names that are used here in Sweden, but I don't know all the English terms, so it sometimes gets a little bit confusing. And I didn't want to get confused on this project. I just wanted to crack on. I just wanted to jump into it and, have fun knitting. So that's what I did. I'm not remembering the names, so I'm gonna pop the names of the yarns that I used here. It was some kind of vegan yarn that was like this caramel, or maybe more of a caramel / peachy color pink that I used. And then I combined it with a silky thin thread as well. So it's extremely soft and nice and everything. It's really, really, really nice to hold. And overall, I'm pretty happy with how this scarf came out. I feel like it was very even. Let's see if we can put the ends together here. Not too bad, right? It looks really good. Now, I don't know if you can see or tell already, but it's a little bit obviously higher than you want for a Sophie scarf, if I'm not mistaken, but you sort of want it to be maybe almost that size, almost like, how much is that? How much less is that? Like 2, 3, and I'm sorry, I do centimeters, but like 2, 3 centimeters less. Like so maybe it was a little bit too wide, and so like when I put it on, it sort of want to fold a little bit, and that's fine if that's the look that you're going for. But I think I want to have one that is a little bit thinner. I am like maybe already giving you the full information here, but I will try this scarf again. I will adjust a little bit because I have the same kind of yarn, but in a more of like eggshell / white color, which I think is going to be really, but I want it to be a little bit thinner, so it fits more to spring. This was the large version or big version. There's also a smaller version, which I don't think that you can wrap twice around your neck, but just once. So I'm probably going to do that one, because this one actually used a little bit more than one ball of yarn of this, not the silky one, but the caramel vegan one. So that was a little bit like, oh, okay, I had to order more before being able to finish it. But overall, like I said, pretty happy with it. I feel so like now inspired to do more. I actually want to do a tank top and I want to do a cardigan too. But I also obviously want to do another Sophie scarf as well, or make another Sophie scarf as well. Let's talk a little bit about what I feel was challenging or what issues I had. So I think from like starting up to the middle of it was like easy breezy, no problem. I was wondering if I was a little bit too loose on, next to this, as I understand it, is an I cord or whatever, this the sides. But on one side, or like to the stitch like exactly next to it, felt like became a little bit looser maybe than I would have liked. And I don't know if it's just me being inexperienced, or the fact that I used a big hook, or sorry, needles, a pair of needles. I think I had like 4.5 or 4. And I think that the recommended hooks are needles. Needles are 3 millimeters. So I don't know if like maybe that's the reason, because another thing that I noticed was when I was decreasing, which was also fun. I know that there's a lot of different ways to decrease, but they created these like visible sort of holes where I've decreased, even though I didn't lose any loops or anything like that. And like, sorry if I use the wrong names for things, because I'm so used to talking about crocheting. I keep saying hooks instead of needles, but I hope you understand. So yeah, it created this like almost like holes that I really did not love, as you can see there, probably there. So I don't know what to do with that. I don't feel like I did it the wrong way. I feel like it said basically lift off a loop or stitch or a maska in Swedish, but yeah, a stitch, and then crochet one regular, and then not fold it over, but carry it over or something like that. And I've seen other people doing it similar, like ish, and so, but I don't know. I feel like this was a little sad to see that it created these like almost holes. So if you have any tips for me, please comment below. Another thing, I think I got a little bit like in the end, I felt like a little bit tired. I just wanted to finish it. So as you can see at the beginning, now I've also maybe not done the bestest job of like sewing in that end, but I really want to make sure that I didn't want that, thread to unravel or anything. I think that was like my beginning, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and I think this is the end, which you can see is like a little bit, will it focus? But yeah, it's a little bit not as neat, and I think I should have done a few more extra rows. If you can tell, like that is like going in a nicer way. That one is like a little bit, yeah, wonky, which is fine. It's okay, but it's also, is it fine? It's fine for being my first scarf and proper knitting project in, I guess, million years. I don't feel like I've ever really finished anything knitting. I've always started something but never finished it. So I'm actually happy. But these ends are so important in the Sophie scarf when you wear it, because that's the little tie you do with the knot, and then these are supposed to be decoratively little bunny ears hanging almost, right? So you sort of want them to be nice looking, but they're nice enough in my opinion. So yeah, those were the troubles that I had. Maybe I would say like the decreasing, maybe the fastening off, that knowing what to do in the end. So I would have to double check that, and also maybe thinking a little bit more about like when I'm crocheting, knitting, when I'm knitting, when I'm done those first 3 stitches, then before you starting on the project, making sure that I have that edge a little bit tighter maybe, and make that more intentional, because maybe I was a little bit too loose there. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, overall, very happy, very glad that I did finally make the scarf. Obviously, also, if I make it again, I will try to make it a little bit shorter, especially if I don't use the recommended yarn and needle size that she recommends in the pattern, which I won't. I have this same yarn basically, but yeah, I will try to use the 3 millimeter needles instead. And once I reach like a a, a wide enough area, like if this is where I feel like I am happy with it, I probably will just like keep doing those same, that just repeat that, not increasing or decreasing or doing anything until I'm feeling like I'm happy with the length, and then I will start to decreasing side. So I think I will do that. But yeah, I've seen so many people doing the Sophie Scarf online. I've seen so many tutorials. I've seen so many people reviewing this pattern. So I know that this is a very common scarf. So I think I will, if if you see this a little bit later, or if you don't have the chance to comment, I know there's a lot of information out there that I can find. But if you have a favorite even video or tutorial that you think helped you a lot, please also link that below, or give me a tip about it, because yeah, I would really like to make this again and make it look a little bit more neater. I always want to make sure that if I do something again, that I at least try to improve it. So it doesn't need to be perfect, but at least a little bit more improved than this one. So I think that's all I wanted to say in this video. I don't know if you like knitting videos as well, because like I said, I got a little taste for it now, and I feel like I want to do a tank top, and I also want to do a cardigan going forward. Obviously, I'm not going to start writing my own knitting patterns. I will still, go after other people's knitting patterns, but maybe one day I'll do make my own, but I'll stick to crocheting with those things for now. So yeah, if you have any questions, if there's anything that I forgot to say, please let me know in the comment section. And if so, happy crocheting, happy knitting, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment.